Brothers, I got a question for y'all. A very serious question. But before I get to that question, well, let's just do this. I got a question. Stick around to find out what that question is and what the answer is.
That's Hunter.
Yeah. Mr. Angry Man is back. I'm back. That's right. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Nah. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Yeah. Listen. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. United we fall, divided we rise. That's all they ever see when they look in our eyes. I ain't the least bit surprised, and I don't even ask why I study. Looking for love and all we get is despise. They proper lying, what? Meaning they falsely prophesying, talking about we really living, but we steadily dying. Tired of mothers crying and fathers silently raging. There's gotta be a way to escape this situation now. Yup. Come on. Verse 2. Who search for brighter days to escape the maladies, giving homage to the folks that passed away. I speak life with the words I say, and that's the weapon I use to keep the evil at bay. I don't play when it comes to mine. My rhymes speak of a revolution this time. It's by design, and I'ma drop these deposits. So if you scared, take your ass to the closet. Why? Let me tell you this. Let's go. I got one more verse for you. Hit them off with that verse. Listen to me now. Verse 3. I drop gems, representing lugs and Timbs with backpacks. I got props like Black Moon, they want effect like Dimes. I'm pouring mic like Nas. I'm the southern playalistic cat that beat them odds. I'm coming down hard. We coming down hard. Yes, sir. Y'all didn't know that I can rock like that. Ha. One time for your mind, representing for the deuce. That's right, put it down for the deuce tray. Let's go, Mr. Angry Man. Haha. Peace.
What is up? What's going on? What's happening? What's good, everybody? Welcome to The Check, the show where we talk about all things mental health. The show that we talk about mental health from a male's point of view. I'm your host, Mr. Frederick Beatty, and I thank you so very much for tuning in to us. Also, tune in to Trailblazers Radio, man. Before we even get started in this, man, I want to continue to tell everybody to like and follow us on all our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram. We're also on LinkedIn. We also have a YouTube page, so where we're at 96 subscribers. We're only 4 subscribers away from hitting 100 subscribers. So do me a favor, do me a big solid, man. Go to our YouTube page. Take a look at our content. If our content resonates with you, or if you like our content, man, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that bell notification button, so that way you'll be notified of anytime we go live. So, last but most definitely not least, I want to thank all our listeners, all our viewers for tuning in with us tonight, man. You guys are awesome. I love you guys to life, and I love you guys to live. There ain't nothing you can do about that. We thank you so very much for showing your support, for showing your. We're going to continue to make great content for you guys. So, without any further ado, man, look, y'all. I've been thinking about this for a while, thinking about this particular question for a while, and I had a gentleman that was going to come on with me as a guest, and we were gonna break this down and talk about this, and we were going to talk about it in its entirety. I do apologize. I took my glasses off so that way the glare won't interfere in anything. So we were going to talk about this in its entirety. We were going to break this down. We were going to talk about it. We're going to put it in its proper perspective. However, my guest couldn't make it tonight, which is fine, which is cool. because we go solo dolo this. And I promise you, it's going to be something that's going to be very, very enriching and also very, very enlightening as well. So, I want you guys to tune in and I want you guys to strap up and strap in because this is about to be that kind of ride. And the question is a very simple question. This question is to all my brothers in the room. All my brothers that's tuning in, all my brothers that's watching on YouTube, all my brothers that's watching on any social media platform. This is a question to all my brothers in the room. And I need y'all to hear me, and I need y'all to hear me very, very well. So this is a question, gentlemen. A very serious question. Who taught us? I'm gonna pause right there and I'm gonna let you guys think about that for a second. Who taught us? Now put my glass back on because it's about to get serious. Who taught us, y'all? Who taught us, brothers? Who taught us this fucked up and distorted ass view of manhood? Who taught us this? Who taught us this? Who taught us this view of manhood to where our value is predicated by the number of zeros that adorn our bank account? Who taught us this distorted view of manhood is that we as men don't have worth? Who taught us this distorted view of manhood that eliminates the proximity of our emotions? Who taught us what healthy manhood looks like? Who taught us what it feels like, what it sounds like, what it tastes like? Who taught us this? Who taught us these things? Who taught us that emotions were weakness? Who taught us this distorted view of manhood? Now, before any brothers come for me, I want to preface this by saying this right here. This right here. Our view of the world's view of what manhood is and how we as Black men see manhood and how Black women see manhood is quite distorted. And I say it's distorted because of several reasons. And again, we can agree to disagree and everything in between and everything else in between. So, if you want to, meet me in the chat. We could talk about this. But like I said before, our view of manhood is distorted. Extremely distorted. How we as men view manhood, how women view manhood, and how we pass that, or how we transmit that view of manhood to our sons. How we transmit that view of manhood to our daughters. And how they transmitted that view to their children and to their children's children. So yeah, our view of man, that is our manhood is quite distorted. And I say that it's distorted because there are several reasons why this distorted ass view of manhood is prevalent. one of those reasons, and ladies, women, don't comfort. You can comfort me in the chat. You can comfort me in the chat if you want to. That's cool. Because what I'm gonna say, it is what it is. Brothers, you can comfort me in the chat too, because what I'm gonna say, it is what it is. Hey, LHG, how's it going? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. So, one of the reasons, one of several reasons why there's a distorted view of manhood is number one, and this is a combination thing: single motherhood and the absence of fathers in the home. Single motherhood, number one; the absence of fathers in the home, number two. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna continue, and I will say this, and I will keep saying it until God calls me home. And this goes both ways. A woman can raise a child, but she cannot raise a man. She can teach a man. She can teach a young boy certain aspects of life, but she can't teach that. She can't teach that boy to be a man. I'm gonna let that breathe for a second. Because what I'm saying is true, and vice versa. A man can't teach a little girl to be a woman. Because you have to have both aspects of that. You have to have both aspects of that. You have to have an aspect of a woman and have the aspect of a man to teach. You have to have an aspects of a man to teach a little boy how to be a man. You have to have the aspects of a woman to teach a little girl how to be a woman. So both of those entities have to be present. And again, sisters, I don't want y'all coming. I want you to come for me in the comments, and I want us to have a conversation. But I'm saying single motherhood and lack of fathers in the home is one of the reasons why. One of the reasons why this view of manhood is quite distorted. I'm a clue y'all in on a little something. And this may or may not shock you. During the Jim Crow era, more families were together than they are currently. There were more black families together in the Jim Crow era than they are currently. There's also certain aspects of Section 8 and welfare, those types of things that also separated black men and black women. That's also one of the reasons for this distorted view of manhood that I'm talking about. Lack of a father in the home is another distorted view of manhood. Or lack of a strong male figure, whether it's an uncle, whether it's a grandfather, whether it's a cousin or whoever. Lack of a strong male figure is one of the reasons why there's a distorted view of manhood. I will tell you from my own personal experience. On both ends of the spectrum that I grew up with a mother and a father in my home. And I turned out okay. I turned out a pretty well-rounded, pretty well-adjusted human being. And I'm not saying that a boy that comes from a single parent household would be maladjusted and things of that nature. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there's another aspect of that young man that's missing. And that is a man, that is his father, or that is a strong man, that is either a father, that is his father. One of the things I've always tried to talk up is that one of the things I try to talk up is that father, that we as black men need to be more continue to be more continue to be present in our children's lives. And I'm not saying that any black man is a deadbeat. I'm not saying that us as black men as a whole are deadbeat fathers, because I know that we're not. But what I'm saying is that we need to be more present. We need to be a lot more present in our homes, in our children's lives, in our sons' lives, in our daughters' lives. So that's not to say that black men are deadbeat fathers, because I know for a fact that there are most of us are not. I'm going to say this from the aspect of a father who wasn't who, and I'm saying this from, and I'm being very transparent when I say this. I'm saying this from the aspect of a gentleman who wasn't present in my children's lives. And I'm not saying this for just word salad or anything like that. I'm saying this because I wasn't present in my children's lives, and I saw the results, and I see the results of that. Not being present for my oldest son's life caused a rift. Same with my youngest, same with my middle child, same with my middle son, and same with my youngest son. All these instances caused a rift in our relationship. My oldest son is not here with us. So that's something I can't readily replace. I can't readily replace or make up time for. But I have two other sons and a daughter that I need to have a relationship with, that I want to have a relationship with. I find it very, very crazy that, and sisters, I understand the things that y'all go through with being a single mother, trying to raise kids, trying to get a job and all that. Trust me, what I'm saying is not to that. What I'm about to say is not to discount that or down that in any way possible, any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying that to do that. However, what I am going to say is this. You can't X that father out of that child's life just because he doesn't want to have a relationship with you. Just because he doesn't want to be, just because he no longer wants to be involved with you. And brothers, I'm saying this to y'all too. You can't give up. You can't give up just because she makes it hard. She makes it harder for you to see your child. That's your child. That's your child. You have an obligation to that child. To be present in that child's life. You have an obligation to be present in that child's life. And you need to be present in that child's life by any means necessary. If the mother doesn't want to see things eye to eye, sisters, don't be mad at me. But if the mom don't want to see eye to eye, take her ass to court. Get visitation. I think in some instances, and I speak for myself as well. I think it's when it came to some instances. I think that we forget. I think that we forget that being that, look, I don't even know how to say this. So Yes, sister. Yes, women have to. Y'all, women. And I'm not saying all women. I'm not saying this doesn't apply to all women. It does apply to some. And I know for those who are the some who equate to who are in the some category, this is especially for you. Y'all got to be really can be very careful when you start when you come between a father and his child. Unless there is an abusive situation, whether there's child abuse, whether there's spousal abuse or physical or any type of physical, emotional, or any type of abuse. Unless there's an abusive situation going on, that man has every right. That man has every right to be with his child, to see his child, to see his son, to see his daughter. And ladies, I need y'all to listen to what I need y'all to listen to what I'm talking about tonight. Again, this is not a monologue to talk about women. Not talking about not saying anything about women. This is just one of the instances. One of the instances were the questions that I asked myself: Who taught us this distorted view of manhood? Single motherhood and fatherless children counts as not one but two things. When these young men go out into this world, without a father, without 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 wise counsel from a strong male figure, also known as his father or a strong male figure. This that yeah, that young man is walking around. That young man is literally walking around naked. That child becomes quote unquote that young man becomes quote unquote a product of his environment to where his mom can't get control of him. So he ends up being raised by the streets. And that young man enters into a situation to where this where they where he's too young to know, he's too young to know about the ways of the world. He's not old enough to know about the ways of the world, he's also not young, but he's also not young enough to not know the ways of the world. And if he comes into the ways of the world without having that knowledge of that knowledge that only a father can give to him, or strong male figure can give to him, this world will literally chew his ass up and spit his ass out. I know this because I've seen it. I'm not saying this to be to say the try to be big, bad, or bold or nothing like that. It's this world will literally chew that young man up and spit his ass out and leave the carcass there for the vultures and for the hyenas leave him as carrion for vultures. Gentlemen, we have to be present. We have to be present in our kid, in our sons and our daughters, our children's lives, especially both of them. And I'm not saying that it's equally as important to young men as it is to young women, but I'm not saying that it's not equally important to young men and young women because it is equally important because it's equally important. A young a father can teach teach a daughter some things that her mother could never teach her. A mother could teach her son some things that his father could never teach him. But you still need the opposite. You still need the opposite sex at both ends of the spectrum. Gentlemen, I'm telling you this from my own from personal experience that is important. It's imperative that you're present in your children's lives because there's no greater gift. There's no greater gift than bringing your life into this world than you planting a seed that helps that you planting a seed, which is the seed of life. combine with that egg, and it brings life into it brings life into this world. So we have to be we have to be responsible, guys. We gotta be responsible. We have to be responsible men. We also have to be responsible fathers, because we and I'm looking at this from a perspective of a father, but I'm also looking at it from a perspective of an uncle, as a nephew, as a brother, as a cousin, and everything else, and everything else that in between of that. We're losing our young men. We're losing our brother. We're losing our younger brothers. If it isn't to street fame, it's to something else. Social media. Who taught us the other thing that I'm going to touch on? I'm going to touch on this right now because it's a good thing for me to segue to. Social media has taught men and has taught us this distorted view of manhood. TV shows, regular media, TV shows, radio shows, certain podcasts that you hear, you listen, you hear, you watch, have taught this distorted view of manhood. These shows tell these young boys that it's okay to be hard 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and never switch the fuck off. Social media and media teachers got our young boys out here thinking that they can live a life like they can especially these damn reality shows and shit, like these modern day reality shows. I mean, some of these shows got these young boys thinking that they can have the life like some of these, excuse my French, some of these niggas on Love and Hip Hop and shit like that. It don't work that way, man. Some of these podcasts that's out. No disrespect to nobody's podcast out there, because I got a lot of love and a lot of respect for a lot of people that's out here doing the same thing that I'm doing. But some of these podcast platforms, man, some of these podcast platforms are showing our young men, and also especially showing our young men certain ways to behave that aren't like men. And I'm not discounting anything. Again, I'm not coming for anybody's podcast or anything of that nature. But some of these platforms are just shooting out bullshit, shooting out a bunch of fuckery. Teaching these dudes to be all this and all that. Dude, whatever, brother, whatever happened to respect? Whatever happened to honor? Whatever happened to fealty? Whatever happened to loyalty? Whatever happened to just being kind? Social media, social media, so a lot of these, some of these podcasts got y'all dudes out here thinking that y'all dudes out here thinking that you can't operate on the things that you can't operate on loyalty, you can't operate on honor, respect, fealty. That those things are foreign. Those four things are foreign. They're not foreign. And trust me, Operating on those four things does not make you soft as a man. It means that you as a man have you as a man have morals, you have standards, and you have a code. And you're not going to break that code for no person. Your honor is unbreakable. Your honor is unshakable. Your loyalties unbreakable. Your fealties unmatched. Your respect, you are a respecter of persons. And I'm gonna put this out here just to kind of make it real very succinct. There's only one entity that's not a respecter of persons, and that's God. But since we're not God, we should always be a respecter of persons. I operate on those principles. I respect everybody. I honor everybody. I show fealty to those I need to people that I show fealty. I need to show fealty to, and I'm loyal. And I show loyalty to people. To people that I trust. People that in my inner circle that I trust. Social media, these podcasts got some of y'all dudes thinking that that is just some old school shit that should some old school doctrine that should not be followed. Wrong. Chivalry is not dead, brother. Chivalry is not dead, brother. It is in fact very much alive with me and several men like me. You can't look to social media and think that you're that following the advice of somebody that's who's paid to create content, whose main job is to create content. And again, I'm not saying this, but I'm not saying this of all people who create content. I'm not saying this to all content creators in this ilk or anything of that nature and stuff like that. I'm not speaking bad up on nobody. I'm saying this. I'm saying it in general. If you're a content creator and you feel butthurt by this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Because some of y'all content creators out here creating crazy ass narratives that don't even need to be talked of, that don't even need to be brought up. And y'all are purporting a form of y'all purporting a distorted form of manhood that should not exist in the current that should not exist in the current state, in this current status quo. Who taught us this shit as men? Who taught us this distorted view of manhood? Who added the aspect that having emotions was weak? It was weak. Who taught us this shit? Who taught us this? Me being a man, my emotions are just as fucking important as the next person's, as a woman's, or the next person's, or the next person's, or the next person's. For anybody, whether it's male or female, to downplay my emotions and to discredit them and disregard them, to discredit my emotions and disregard them is disingenuous, disrespectful, and as far as I'm concerned, just fucking heinous. There's a lot of people out there that say a lot of people, especially some, and I'm saying some, not all, So I'm not speaking on a lot of. So there's a lot of people that I'm not speaking on, that I'm not talking about. But there are some people, male and female, that say a man's emotion, fuck a man's emotions. If he's not doing what I ask him to do, if not doing what I'm telling what I want him to do, and he's feeling a certain type of way, fuck how he feels. And trust me, and I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it, and I don't get it. Number one, what I don't get is the simple fact that you as a woman, especially a black woman, would disregard a man's would disregard what a man feels. Or what a black man feels. Y'all have an idea. We all have an idea what we as black men go through, but you honestly have no clue. You have an idea, but no clue. And yes, I said that. Y'all have an idea, but you have no fucking clue of what we endure, what we go through, what we the things that we deal with in this world that constantly and consistently wants to tear us down. And we as men carry we as black men, we carry that baggage, as well as the baggage of fatherhood, as well as the baggage of being as well as the baggage of working hard, two and three two job one or more jobs, taking care of the person, or taking care of our significant other, taking care of the try to take care of our kids if we're take care of our kids if we're married, or try to have a relationship with our kids if we're not married. As well as navigate, navigate this socio-political structure, the political structure that is known and proven to knock us down, to tear us down, to discredit us at every day, and to discredit us at every given moment, to make us look like animals. And any given chance, this social political structure is made to is is given. We carry that weight on our shoulders, and most of the times, and I put myself in the same boat as well, because a lot of the times I don't show it. I don't put emotions out there like that. And that's not to say that that's not for me to say that anytime I come up in front of this microphone, in front of this camera, that my emotions are on display, because they are, because my emotions are on display every time I come up in front of this microphone, and every time I come in front of this camera. It's to the point. For me, it's to the point where I don't. For me, it's past the point. It's past the point where I don't care. I'm gonna put out my emotions. I'm gonna be emotional. I'm gonna cry if I need to. But the simple fact of who taught us this stuff, who taught us these things, who taught us that our emotions didn't matter, who taught us that our emotions didn't matter. And I'm gonna tell you who taught us. It was the men in our past generation, in generations before us, because in most cases, you can either agree with me or you can't, or you don't agree with me. A lot of gentlemen, a lot of men that that we grew up around didn't really show much emotions. I never I never really saw my father show. I never really I never really saw my father display any emotions when we were growing up. You know, not not sadness, not grief or anything like that. I mean, and if he did, if he did show emotion, I didn't see it. I didn't witness it. I didn't see it, and I never experienced that. I'll tell you the one time. I'll tell you the one time. Tell you the one time that I did experience my father. That I did have an experience with my father. My father and his emotions is where with his mom died. By the way, happy heavenly birthday. Happy heavenly birthday to my paternal grandmother, Annie Moselle Sneed. Yesterday was her birthday. Um, she's no longer with us. And that's the person who I'm talking about. Yes, sis. Yep. The old rap song said, I ain't never seen a man cry till I see the man die. That's Scarface. And the first time that I ever saw my father display any type of emotions that I personally saw. And I'm not saying anybody else, but me as his son personally saw. Is when his mom passed away. That's the first time I saw my father display any type of emotions, any type of emotion. Let's just put it like this. I saw so many things that day when I saw my father. I saw anxiousness. I saw nervousness. I saw extreme grief. I saw my father break down and cry. And I'm emotional. I'm emotional about it because it affected me as his son. It didn't affect me. It didn't affect me in a bad way. It affected me in a good way. Because for me, because it gave me the opportunity to be there for my father and to embrace him and love on him like a son, and love on him. Not only not only as a son, but also as a man. So it gave me that opportunity to love on him, to see him at his most lowest point, most lowest and most vulnerable point in his life. I won't say that was the lowest point of his life, but I saw him at his most vulnerable point in his life. And I apologize a little bit, y'all. When I talk about when I talk about situation with my father, I do get sensitive and I do get emotional because for me, that carries a lot of weight and that carries a lot of value. And to see my father at that particular moment in his life, to see the anxiousness, to see the nervousness, to see him at a point, to see him at his most lowest, to see him at a point to where he broke completely down. And one of the things that were, and I'll say that one of the things that touched me, one of the things that affected me a bit was when I saw my father, and yeah, I would because I was several seats away from him in the same row, but I was several seats away from him. So every now and again, while the homegoing service was going on, I craned my head around or around to see if he's okay, just to check on him, make sure he's okay. make sure that he's holding up, because I wanted to make sure that he was fine. And I'm not saying that I was okay, because I'm not saying that I was okay because I wasn't. But at the same time, I wanted to make sure that he was okay. And the moment I cried, I turned my head around to check on him to see that he was okay. I saw that he had been there. I saw that he had buried his face in his hands, and he had broke down crying. He had broke down, and and I'm not laughing because it's funny. One second, y'all. And I'm not I'm not I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it was something that I had to put in perspective for myself. When I saw my father break down, when I saw my father bury his face in his hands as he broke down, and it hurt me because I could not. It hurt me because I could not get to it. As much as me and my father have been pseudo adversarial towards each other, that's as much as we've been pseudo adversarial towards, but that's still my dad, still my father, and I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna be there for him. I'm gonna support him. I'm gonna do my best to try to do my best to be in his corner. It hurt me because I could not get to him. I could not get to him to where I could embrace him and love on him and just be that shoulder for him to cry on. It hurt me because I could not get to him. And it bothers me a little bit, but it bothers me to this day, but it doesn't. But the more I think about it, the less it bothers me. I mean, because if if I would have got to him, it would it things it would have made some things a little better. But knowing that he was so, but for me to knowing that he was surrounded by family and friends that loved him and cared about him, you know who who loved on him, that it made things better. It made things a bit better. Made me feel better about it. But who the fuck taught us that we're not? Who the fuck taught us that we're supposed to not have emotions, and that we're not supposed to do all these things? We're not supposed to feel shit. When my son died, there was so much of an upheaval of emotions in me: nervousness, anxiety. Felt like I didn't belong there. But his aunts, and again, and I'll say thank you, Vardy, and thank you, Vardy and Shatasha for making me, and Miss Shirley for making me feel like I was welcome when Kawanza passed. I'll never forget the kindness that you guys showed me, and I'm forever in your debt. But when my son died, there was so much of an upheaval of emotions, and they were they were building up and they were building up and they were building up, and they had nowhere to go. When they finally buried him, when they finally put him in the ground, the revelation of him not coming back came upon me, and that's when I broke down and I cried. But then that grief turned into anger. I was angry at the world. I was angry at everybody, and I took it out on everybody, and it cost me. But who told us that we couldn't feel this stuff? Who told us that we couldn't feel these things? Who told us that we can't feel these emotions? Society at large, number one, said that we shouldn't feel these emotions. A lot of the older generation of men showed us that we weren't supposed to feel these emotions, and our women. Because and I'm not saying, again, this is a generality. It's not something. It's not pointed at anybody. So if it does not apply, let it fly. One, society at large has told us that we as men should not ever bear our emotions. That we should lock those away. We should lock those away. We should circular file those things and keep it fucking pushing. A lot of the men in our generations, especially the men in my passion from the generation that I grew up in, which was my father and a lot of other people, a lot of other gentlemen, a lot of other men that I knew in that generation that I grew up in. A lot of them didn't really display emotions like that either. So we were taught from an early age to not show emotions and stuff like that, to not feel a certain way towards a certain thing. And as I got older, I started to find out that there were certain instances and glimpses of my experiences to where I had to show emotions, and that I also found out in my experiences that, also found in my experiences that there were times where I showed emotion. There were people around that surrounded me with love and care. But for me, that was so far in between. That was so far in between that I did that it really wasn't consistent. And the simple fact of me showing emotions and then those emotions being downplayed or talked less upon, it really left a very, very sour taste in my mouth when it came to that. Especially after my son died. Because, and it was at that point because no one really, I felt and this is just me, just me. I felt that no one cared about how I felt at the time. And I felt that what I was feeling had no relevance, had no real relevance, what I felt had no value. So that's what I mean when that's what I mean by dudes switching on and never switching the fuck off. And I'm gonna get to that part in a minute. I'm gonna get to that part in a moment. But the other thing that I want to mention, especially about this, is that a lot of our women, not all, some, not all. A lot of our women discount our emotions. Again, I'm not saying this to come at women, come at black women. I'm not saying that to come at y'all. What I am saying is to bring about a point. Is that some of y'all, not all, some of y'all discount your man's emotions. Some of y'all don't pay your man's emotions no mind. Don't pay your man's emotions no mind. Some of y'all will call a man weak if he displays any type of emotion. If he displays some form of sadness or anxiousness or nervousness that's outside of what you consider quote unquote the standard operating procedures for a man. And how would you know? How would you know what the standard operating? And let me and women. Let me ask y'all. Let me ask y'all a damn question. And I really want to ask y'all this because I personally need to answer. How the hell do y'all know the standard operating procedures for a man? More so, do you even know the standard operating procedures for a man? Or do you just know the standard operating procedures for your man? I'll wait. Because 90% out of 100, you don't. You want to know why? Because you don't talk. You don't talk to him. Y'all don't communicate. If he tells you something's bothering you or something's pressing him, you'll tell him suck it up and do some. You tell him suck it up, buttercup, and do some push-ups. Or you'll tell him to quote unquote be a man. Well, let me clue you, ladies and gentlemen, especially ladies, let me just clue you in on a little something. Before I was a man, before I was a man, I am a human first. That's right. I am a human being first, which means I have the same emotions, I have the same emotions that you carry. And that I display those same that I display said emotions in a different way from you. But I do have emotions. So before I was a man, before I was a male, I was a human first. I am a human first, a male second. Which means I carry the same damn emotions you carry. I just don't display them as often. And I'll tell y'all this: I'm a Cancer, so I am an emotional child. So I am an emotional person. So I carry my emotions on these right here. So, but most of it, those are three things to me that. And I'm not saying that Well, no, I will say that because to not pay attention to your mate and to see if something's going on with him emotionally, and to ignore that, to discount that, to just sweep it up under the rug, that's fucking wrong. And it's purported by all three things: society at large, the men in our generation, the men in our previous generations, and women. Because women say they want a quote unquote strong man, and they don't want a man who's passive or weak or who doesn't show who shows emotions. Well, let me tell you, baby girl, let me put you up on game, okay? Let me put you up on game. Emotions are strength, and it's okay. It's okay as a man if I cry. It's okay for me as a man to feel anxious. It's okay for me to feel nervous. It's okay for me to feel sad. It's okay for me to be depressed sometimes. It's okay for me to be sad sometimes. Now what's not okay is for me to pitch a tit in that. That's what's not okay. So, ladies, I'm gonna tell you, it's okay for a man, as a man, to not be okay. What's not, and again, what I'll say is, what's not okay is for me to pitch a tent in that. To me to pitch a tent and build a whole village around that. So it is okay for me to be it is okay for me to feel sad. It is okay for me to feel down. It is okay for me to feel anxious, nervous. What's not okay is for you as women, for the men in my generation, the men in our previous generations, and society at large to downplay that, to discount that, to disregard that, to push that to the side, to sweep it to the side and say fuck that. You're a man. To say fuck that. Be a man. Or maybe you have to say fuck that. You're a man. Suck it up, buttercup. Suck it up and do some push-ups, buttercup. What am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that statement? How am I supposed to react to that statement? You're telling me be a man and suck it up and do some push-ups? What the fuck? Where am I taking that? What I am gonna do is probably do some push-ups to let all this anger go, to let what I feel go. So yeah, for being taught to be that's another part of distorted manhood that I'm talking, that distorted view of manhood that I'm talking about. Who taught us this stuff? Who taught us this shit? Well, I think you get the gist of who taught us certain things. Because the simple fact of the matter is, this distorted view of manhood is something that is still being taught. Fuck, I mean, hell, if we want to go any further, who taught us as men that our value was determined upon the amount of zeros that adorned our bank account? Who taught us that shit? I tell you who taught us that shit. Motherfuckers who think that a high value man is about the dollars, the amount of money that's in his bank account. Fuck that. Yeah, I said it. Fuck that. And some of you ladies that's out here that say that you're looking for a quote unquote high value man, which means value as equatable as money. You're looking at the wrong fucking place. You're looking at the wrong fucking place. And I say that sincerely. I say that sincerely, and I say that honestly. If you value a man based upon the number of zeros that adorn his bank account, then you don't value that man at all. At all. Yeah, I said it. I said it, God damn it. I said it. If the only value you see in a man is dollar signs, then you do not fucking value him. The only thing you value is money. The only thing you value is expensive cars, flights being flued out, cruises and trips and shit like that. You don't value him as a person. This is addressed to some of y'all women, not all of y'all. Cause some of y'all women and some of you brothers out here thinking you think that let me just talk. I'm gonna break this down. I'm gonna break this down in two areas real quick. For you brothers. A lot of you brothers think that you having all these dollar signs equates to power and influence and shit like that. It doesn't. You think they're having all these fancy cars and being able to get being able to fly somebody out, or better yet, being able to have a little bit of clout means some shit. When in actuality, it means nothing. That's right. I said it. It means nothing. Just because you got that money don't mean you're a good person. Because money changes you. Money changes the person, changes you as a person. Just because you got clout don't mean shit. Just because you got prestige don't mean shit. Just because you got a little pool in a goddamn club don't mean shit. It don't mean shit. It don't mean shit to me. Anyway, I give a fuck. I give a fuck less. So motherfuckers can have up. So motherfuckers can have more money than me, but they're not as valuable as me. Because you're only see your value is only seen by the amount of dollar signs is seen by the amount of dollar signs, and you being someone who can pay everybody's way. You know, kind of like pay to win mechanics in a fucking video game. I ain't trying to pay to win. I'm gonna start off at level 1, and I'm gonna start off at level 1 and grind till I get up to the level cap. At that point, when I hit the level cap, I'm at the end game. So now when I get the end game, now the only thing I'm doing is rounding out my build, min max it, strengthening weaknesses, and making sure that I'm an all around good person that can deal in a majority of situations. Cats that walk around flaunting money and clout like that, y'all are, let me tell y'all, I'm gonna say this. Y'all are max level characters, but y'all are max level characters, but y'all are not complete character builds. Yeah, y'all max level. Y'all can do some shit, and y'all can do some shit. But you're not well rounded. Having money, having prestige, having clout doesn't make you well rounded. It just means you got money, clout, and prestige. That's what that means. And just because you got money doesn't automatically mean you're better than me. Because that ain't an automatic win. You got money, you got clout, you got prestige. You just have a slight advantage. You just have a slight advantage over me. A slight, and I say slight, meaning about that much right there. That much. You have a slight advantage over me. And what I mean by a slight advantage, you have that be I mean a slight advantage over me. Because you might be rich in money, you might be rich in clout, you might be rich in prestige, but what you are not rich in is in character. What you're not rich in is in integrity. What you're not rich in is peace of mind, presence of thought. And yeah, I'm saying this to all my brothers that believe, having all these things puts you on top. It doesn't. It puts you on top for a little while. But okay, but it doesn't keep you there. It puts you on top for a little bit, not a whole while, but it doesn't keep you there. And understanding that these things are really not there. These things are really not the formula to success. So I don't place my value on dollar signs. And a lot social media got a lot of us, but got a lot of these young brothers, and for a time myself included, just big on the idea that if I get up there, if I get up there with these people, if I get up there with these the top of echelon, the upper crust, and all this shit, that I got it, that I got it made, and that and that I can that I don't have to worry about solving my own goddamn problems, or that my problems are solved all automatically, instantaneously solved. If I get up there with the upper crust and I'm able to just get to that point, then I'm good. Then I'm good. I'm at an age. I'm at an age in my life right. I'm at an age in my life right now that I really don't give a shit about getting up there. I'm at an age in my life right now that I'm not worried about getting up there with the upper crust, with other people, with the people of that ilk or that like. I don't care about that. I've met a couple of celebrities in my life. I've met a couple of celebrities in my life. I'm not saying not to say that the experience wasn't bad, but it wasn't. Not saying the experience wasn't bad. It's a great experience. But do I have a desire to get up there? Do I have a desire to be there with them? No, I do not. I don't want to be. I don't want to be up there. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this, brothers. And I'm gonna say this. And a lot of brothers are gonna get offended by this, and I don't care. Well, but a lot of us, a lot of us get to the chasing of a dollar, get to the chasing of a dollar bit of a dollar bill to the detriment of ourselves. Let me repeat that. A lot of us brothers get to the chasing of a dollar bill to the detriment of ourselves. What do I mean by the detriment of ourselves? The detriment of ourselves is that we lose out on years of our lives and the lives of our children because of the way we chased that dollar. Street fame, illegal means, all kind of you know what I'm talking about. We end up being either incarcerated. We either we there's It's three roads to that. We either end up incarcerated, killed, or a victim or a victim of the game. One of the things I want us brothers to know, I want us as brothers to know, is that this game is pretty much rigged. It's been rigged from the get go. It's been set up for you to lose. It's been set up for us to lose. No matter how many times we shake and blow on the dice, it's no matter how many times we shake and blow on the dice, it's gonna be something. We're remember. I said this in the poem. We're dealing with house money and house rules. So the house is always gonna win unless you find a way to beat the house. If you can beat the house, then you pretty much decoded the matrix. But until you beat the house, and like I said, we as a men will chase that dollar to the detriment of ourselves, to the detriment of ourselves physically, to the detriment of ourselves emotionally, to the detriment of ourselves spiritually. And one of the things that I've, and like I said before, man, our as just us as men, our value isn't based upon the amount of dollar signs that adorn our pockets. We a lot of most of us carry values of integrity, of honor, of fealty, of loyalty, and respect. These values make us rich and make us rich. The other thing that makes us even it's doubly rich is that knowing our of knowing our relationship with God, having a relationship with God. Yeah, I was gonna bring this. I was gonna bring God. I was gonna bring this aspect into it sooner rather than later. But now's a good time to segue into that. So my value is I have emotional value, I have a physical value, I have a spiritual value. So these things, those three things make me rich. And I think a lot of the failures of the what, and I meant to say this earlier, but I'm gonna say it now. I think the other thing about who taught us this distorted view of manhood also goes back to the church. It goes to the church. Not saying that the church is responsible for everything, but the church is responsible for not teaching, not showing, not showing what a godly man is, what a man of God is. What what does that entail? Someone who walks upright with God, someone who follows God's laws and mandates, someone who is a respecter of persons, who has honor toward who honors his fellow man, who who shows fealty, who is loyal, who shows loyalty. Things of that. These things, those things. And I think the church has largely. I think the church, especially the black church, has largely missed the mark on that. And I could, if there's a pastor or an evangelist or a minister watching, hey, meet me in the chat and we can talk about that. But I personally think that the black church has largely missed the mark on that. It is because they're teaching the same distorted view of manhood as social media and society is teaching. It's time to get back to what manhood is supposed to look like, what it's supposed to feel like, what it's supposed to smell like. I don't think, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be very brutally honest, and a lot of and There's some guy, there's some gentleman there that's gonna come for me, and I'm cool with that. But I'm saying this and I don't care. I don't think we as men know what healthy manhood looks like. I don't think we know what it even. I don't think we even know what it tastes like. I don't even think we know what it smells like. I don't even think we even know what it sounds like. So we have no idea what that. We have no fucking clue what that looks like. But we got a blueprint. And yet we're not following the blueprint. we've deviated from the blueprint so damn much that what we built doesn't even resemble what the blueprint is, what the blueprint looks like. It's distorted. There's certain areas of what we built in certain certain degrees of disrepair and dilapidation. There's certain areas in that. There's certain areas that have been abandoned. Certain areas in that build that's been abandoned. There's certain areas that have been overused, used well beyond what is intended, and what that part of that building's intended purpose is. So yeah, I don't even think we as I don't even in this I, I'm very I don't think we as men even know what healthy manhood looks like. We have no fucking idea. And women and sisters, yes, my sisters, I'm talking to y'all. Y'all don't either. Yeah, I said it. Y'all don't either. Y'all don't got the blueprint to what y'all don't have the blueprint to what healthy manhood looks like because y'all don't have the and y'all don't have access to the blueprint. So y'all can't say what healthy manhood looks like. You can say what a healthy person looks like, but you can't say what healthy man. You cannot say what healthy manhood looks like. Well, you probably can if you saw it, if you truly saw it. But some of y'all don't know what it looks like because some of y'all don't know what it looks like because some of y'all haven't experienced that, either. Ooh. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Because some of y'all, men and women, have experienced what healthy manhood looks like. So how do you know what it looks like if you haven't experienced it? How you know what it looks like if you haven't had that up close and personal experience with it? We can talk about it. We can try to give examples of it, but do we actually know what it is? No. I'm up here on this on this podcast and this platform telling you that I don't know what it is. And I am looking for the answers myself because I want to get to a point to where as a man I am healthy. I'm healthy. Not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. Like I said, we have the blueprint, but and I'm saying what we have built is so far from the original blueprint that it don't look nothing like what we built. It doesn't look like nothing. It doesn't even resemble the original blueprint. It's a distortion. It's ugly. It's ragged. It's in it's in disarray. It's dilapidated. It's in disrepair. So what do we? So we don't know what that is. We don't know what that is. I know that what we've been taught is distorted. I know that for a fact. I know what we've been taught is distorted. I know what we've been told is distorted. I know what we've been given is distorted. Because these distorted views of manhood came from places and situations. They came from single motherhood and the lack of fathers in the home. It came from society at large, social media, and the past generations of other men. All these things add up to this distorted view of manhood. And that's the view that the public at large runs with. But then you have a select few people, myself included, that that want to know what healthy manhood looks like. Want to know what healthy manhood is. Not only for myself, but for my brothers, the brothers in my immediate family, all my brothers in my family, from the youngest to the oldest, to my cousins. I want us to know what healthy manhood looks like. I am on a search and I am on a quest to find out what that is, to find out what that looks like. There's so many aspects to what health. There's so many aspects to healthy manhood because it embodies spiritual, it embodies emotional, it embodies physical. And I know I don't have y'all. I know I don't have all the answers, but I'm damn sure good. I'm damn sure going to enjoy. Damn sure going to enjoy the quest to find those answers and apply those answers to my own life. So that way I can pass that and pay it forward to other brothers, because Lord have mercy, y'all. Lord have mercy, man. We gotta get it together, brothers and sisters. But I'm talking mostly to my brothers. We gotta get it together, y'all. We gotta get it. We gotta get it together. Because if we don't get it together, we don't get it together. If we don't get it together now, we won't get it together. We won't be able to get it together for the next generation of young men who pass through us. We won't be able to get it together for the next generation of young women who will pass through us. They won't be able to get it together for the generation of children that they bring into the world, and so forth and so forth and so forth, and thus continues the cycle. The circle got to be broke somewhere. Circle got to be broke somewhere. It's not gonna be an easy thing to do. It's not gonna be an easy place for us to go. It's not gonna be an easy journey for us to take. It's not gonna be an easy place for us to go, because going on that particular journey is gonna bring about a lot of I guess it's gonna bring about a lot of pain, a lot of strife, a lot of uncom a lot of being in uncomfortable places and situations. It's gonna require us as men to look deeply into the mirror, to look deep into the mirror of ourselves, look into the inner recesses of ourselves, and get to that and get. And I've said this before, and I will say it again. This is gonna require us as men to get to the little boy that dwells inside of us. and we have to heal that little boy from these generational curses. Heal that little boy from all the hurt and all the pain that he took in. Not necessarily not in a protective way, but to embrace that little boy, not protective, because that little boy's already endured pretty much everything that you've endured in your life. We got to get back to that point, to that little boy. We have to, and I'm pleading with my brothers and my sisters. We have to, and I mean we have to. We gotta get out of this. We gotta get out of this distortion, this distorted view of manhood mindset. We got to, because that viewpoint, that distorted view, that raggedy, imperfect that building that's about to fall apart will be the destruction of us as black men. It will be the destruction of us. It will be the destruction of us as black men. I don't know how else I can say that. I don't know how much more eloquently or elaborately I can say that. If we don't eliminate this distorted view of manhood, especially black manhood, we will be destroyed as black men. I want to thank you guys very much from the bottom of my heart for listening to me tonight. I know it sounded like a rant, but it really wasn't. Just expressing a lot of things that was on my mind and on my heart about this subject. I initially I had a guest with me, but unfortunately my guest couldn't be on. So I decided to make this into a monologue instead of a dialogue. I will have my guest. I will have my guest back on. I will have that person back on, and we're gonna we'll talk about something that's adjacent to this. I am thinking about a part two, but I'm trying to figure out what the subject's gonna be about that. There's so many things that I touched on that I did not touch on tonight. Um, and some things that I kind of touched on that I briefly touched on that I wanted to expound on, but I will expound on those at a later time. Um, and I also want to bring also look. I am going to do a part B. I am going to do a part two. Distorted manhood part two. Who taught us part two? But also, but also want to bring my sisters. I want to invite my sisters into this because there's some things that yes, there's some things that we as brothers as black men and black women we need to talk about. We got to talk about it because some of the things that we did contributed to your plight, and some of the things that y'all did contributed to our plight. So we got to talk about that. But I do want to thank everybody. I do want to thank everybody for who tuned in, who watched tonight. I'm very appreciative of that. I'm very thankful of that, and I want to thank you guys for listening to me, listening to my heart tonight. Like I said, it sounded like it sounded like it's a rant, but it wasn't a rant. I promise you that it wasn't a rant. It's just a lot of things that sit on my heart when a lot of things that sit on my heart when I talk about um, when I talk about things, when I talk about emotions and things like that, when as it pertains to us and brothers, but also a lot of things that I talk about when it pertains to just us as brothers in general. So yes, thank you, sis. Please like, please share, follow, subscribe on YouTube. Also, my brothers, I'm pleading y'all follow Man Cave Conversations. This is on Facebook, y'all. This I made Man Cave Conversations especially for y'all, for us. This is a place that's a place to where we can be open, we can be honest with each other, and that we can be transparent with each other. It's a I promise you, I promise you, it's a safe space. I promise you that it's a safe space. You can come there, you can be open and honest. It is a non-judgmental place to where you can be open and honest about whatever. Um, I try to pull up a daily question. I do my best to try to put up a daily question. I also do my best to try to post something that is profound and something that's profound and that has meaning to you, has meaning to you and to you as men, has meaning to us as men. So thank you, Miss, thank you, Latan, thank you, Miss, thank you, LSG for putting that up there and stuff like it, put that up there. Because let me tell y'all something. I truly believe that these conversations with us as men need to happen. No, they don't. I don't want them to happen. I need them to happen because we have a voice, gentlemen. Regardless of whether you believe it or not, we got a voice. And oftentimes, our voices are not always heard. So I created this space. I created Man Cave Conversations as a safe space for us to talk. I want this to be a safe space for us to talk. I want this to be a place for us to be able to speak and be heard and be known and have what we have, the things that we feel talked about. It's not it's not a destructive conversation. It's a constructive conversation, which means we all support each other. We all look for solutions together. Because no person can do it alone. I can't do this by myself. And I know with y'all behind, with y'all with me, with my brothers with me, we can make this work. With my brothers with me, and then with the support and the backing of my sisters, we can make this work. We can make this. We can take this somewhere. So I thank y'all very much for tuning in with me, vibing out with me, just kicking it with me tonight, man. Excuse me. I'm gonna get up out of here, y'all. But before I do, man, I want to just say that we are on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube. We are at 96 subscribers, man. We're 4 subscribers away from getting to that big one, to that 100 subscriber milestone. We definitely appreciate it if you go to our YouTube channel, you take a look at our content, and if something resonates with you, or you like something that resonates with you, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to get notified the next time, anytime we go live. And I promise you, we got something for everybody, man. My life has destiny with Quit Jones and Coco Fenton. They have been knocking it out the box with this revival theme, man. I swear, I tell y'all, I've been watching these revival shows since they started, and man, I've been blessed. I've been blessed every time. Critical Conversations and Girl Chat Weekly. My sis LSG continues to knock it out the box with great content and great subjects that I think not only apply to women, but I think they also could apply to us as well, because there's some conversations that women have that need to be had with them, and there's some conversations that we as men need to have that need to be had with us, and then there's conversations that we need to have together. So Critical Conversations and Girl Chat Weekly, my God, LHG's been knocking it out. All 3 of these ladies have been knocking it out the frame, knocking it out the box, man. I swear they've been doing it, man. I swear they've been doing it, and I couldn't be more appreciative or more proud of them for what they've been doing. Look, and the time is quickly drawn up on it to where we're going to be celebrating 3 years of being a podcast platform. I am deeply and especially excited for that. We're looking to bring some awesome guests in just to come speak with us briefly and to talk about their experience with us, but also just to celebrate with us and things of that nature. We're all going to be in this. We're all going to be in the place, and we're going to make it do what it do. Hopefully, your face will be in the place as well. Hopefully, your face will be in the place as well. And lastly, but most definitely not leastly, my sis Quint Jones, look, they got something going on. Your Pain Has a Purpose conference. This is a virtual conference. Quint Jones is going to be there. Coco Finch is going to be there. My sis LHG is going to be there. And they got some special guests be there as well. This is going to be on the 23rd of September. Not sure of the time. LHG, if you're still on, do you know what time that's going to be? So not sure of the time, but look, I want you guys, if you're able to go to check out that conference, man. It's going to be some great speakers, some great speakers. It's going to be a great time. Great time in the Word of God, but also a great time in God. I promise you guys you won't be disappointed if you do this. I promise you won't be disappointed. Make sure you tune in to that, and make sure that you guys are tuned into that and locked into that. But with all that being said and done, y'all, I am about to get out of here, man. I love y'all to life. I love y'all to live. It ain't nothing you can do about that. For one thing, three things I always say when I close out these shows, man. Number one, take care of each other. Number two, love on each other. Number three, it's a crazy ass world out here, y'all. So above all those things, please, y'all be safe out here, y'all. I love y'all, man. Y'all have been great tonight, man. I'm gonna take y'all home with Mook Star Dash. It's the way. I love y'all. Good night.
You know that I'm changing, No more ways. New doors are open. I'm no longer broken. Strategy tight, I'm living my life. Oh yeah. I paid my tithe. New blessings on my life. Oh yeah. It's the way you keep blessing me. All I see is opportunity. You open doors that was hard to believe. I thank God you keep favor on me. Check my bank account, all my bills paid. Does keep opening, miracles raining all on me. I'm still alive, food on my table. God is good. You know he's able. It's the way you keep blessing me. It's the way. All I see is opportunity. You open doors that was hard to believe. I thank God you keep favor on me. It's the way you keep blessing me. It's the way you keep. All I see is opportunity. You open doors that was hard to believe.
Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house. And prove me now herewith, says the Lord of hosts, if I will not open to you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing.
I know I've been changed. Things ain't the same since you came my way, yeah. You showed me something different. You showed me something new. You came and turned me around. I was lost, now I am found. Blessings on blessings, blessings on blessings. Windows of heaven, keep pouring out blessings. I don't know what you do it. My hair keeps spinning when you do it. I can't find one reason, but you showing on this season. Yep, it's the way though. It's the way you do, yeah, yeah. It's the way you do. You keep blessing me. It's the way you do. It's the way you do. Yeah. It's the way you do. You keep blessing me. It's the way you keep blessing me.